What is up, guys? Welcome here. Today we're doing something so special. So, if you're not familiar, Jace the Mind Sculptor just got unbanned in Modern, and this is huge. I mean, this is a card that people thought would just be way too powerful, would stay on the ban list for, forever and ever, but here we are, right? Here we are, and Jace is unbanned, and it's not legal on Magic Online until Wednesday. However, I have a good friend of mine, Richard, who... we're going to play some freeform games, right? We're going to play basically Unbanned Modern here, Unbanned Jace, and we're going to test out to see if Jace is really, that good in Modern, right? And hopefully we can find the answer to that. So I'm actually recording this deck after I played my matches, so you'll see, the matches up after this video. However, I just wanted to, explain the deck for you guys so you know what's going on here. So this first deck that I'm trying Jace in is Sultai Midrange, right? So Sultai was the kind of deck that always felt like it had the tools, but, wasn't quite there yet in terms of power level, right? Well, what's the reason to play blue over, red? You get Kolaghan's Command Lightning Bolt. What's the reason to play it over white? You get Lingering Souls. So why add that blue, you get Path Exile, of course, too, in Abzan. So why play blue? Well, now we have a reason, right? Because Snapcaster Mage and Seer Visions weren't quite enough before, but Jace is definitely enough of a reason, right? So let's go over the deck, right? We're playing 23 lands, 6 or 7 one-mana hand disruption spells. We're playing 3 Fatal Pushes, 2 Abrupt Decays, and Maelstrom Pulse as our removal suite, 4 Serum Visions as our cantrip base. Our 2 drops of choice are going to be Tarmogoyfs, Dark Confidants, and Scavenging Ooze, as well as 2 Snapcaster Mages to kind of round out your removal and just be kind of this, Swiss Army knife in a way. Just do whatever you need it to do. And then in terms of the 3 drops is where it gets really spicy, right? We have 3 Liliana of the Veils, we have 1 Liliana of the Last Hope, and then we have 2 Tireless Tracker for some grind value, right? So essentially this deck is aiming to grind our opponent out. We 1-for-1 them, and then we 2-for-1 them. And then we just, apply pressure, Tarmogoyfs, Jaces, close out games, tempo our opponents out, and just, win the game from there. In terms of the sideboard here, it's pretty straightforward. I think graveyard-based decks are going to be one of this deck's worst matchups. So 2 Surgicals, 2 Spell Bombs does the job there. Tron is, of course, also quite a horrible matchup. We get 2 Ceremonious Rejection, 1 click, and 1 Counter Squall for Tron. There's a lot of burn, a lot of little critter decks, like Coco decks, so Collective Brutality does a great job there. And then, of course, if the meta does move towards, like, blue mid-range decks, then Thrun will be great against those Jace decks, right? And then we have Damnation and Golgari Charm as our sweepers of choice, and an extra Maelstrom Pulse here, because, again, it's an answer to Jace, and those are far and few in between in green-black colors, right? So... I think I covered everything, like, really quickly there, because when it comes to green-black X decks, it's pretty straightforward, right? Disrupt your opponent with hand disruption, kill their creatures with cheap, efficient removal, play cheap, efficient threats, and have card advantage engines, right? Powerful planeswalkers, powerful threats, and just close it out from there, right? Hopefully I covered to you why Sultai might be useful now compared to Jund or Abzan. Jund got Bloodbraid Elf now, but, looks like Sultai got Jace now, and Jace is quite powerful. Whether 2 is the correct number here is unknown. In my opinion, I think playing too many Jaces could be a mistake, but obviously, like, 2, 3 Jaces is definitely the correct place to be. 1 is probably incorrect, and 4 is probably incorrect, right? So 2 to 3 is about where we want to be, in my opinion, in Modern, right? Because Modern's still a fast format. Look, Jace is unbanned, but Modern is still unrelentingly fast. So that's going to be the rundown here with Sultai Midrange with Jace the Mind Sculptor. You're going to see 2 matches against the same deck coming up, right? So there's going to be, right after this, there's going to be 1 match against the deck, and then right after that, playing with the same Sultai Midrange deck, it's going to be another match against that same deck. So you'll see 2 matches, and hopefully that can, remove a little bit of the variance, but obviously, 4 to 6 matches is not going to elucidate, if that's... I think that's a word, right? Anyways, it's not going to tell you exactly how good this deck is, right? So it's just a little bit to show you kind of the interactions, the power level, and where it stands. Anyways, stay tuned for that. And after that match, it might be in a separate video, but look out on my channel, and you'll see Blue-White Control with Jace, the Mind Sculptor, as well. So thank you all so much for watching this deck tech, and stay tuned for the upcoming matches against a deck that, you'll find out what it is pretty soon. Thanks, guys. Alright, what is up, guys? Welcome to the first match here. We're playing with Jace the Mind Sculptor in Modern, even though it's not quite legal yet on Magic Online. Thankfully, my very good friend Richard was able to, play some freeform games here with me, so we can, test out and see if Jace is actually viable in Modern, right? So we're testing it in a Sultai shell right now, and looks like we have quite a good opener here. We got discard into Goyf, and we have removal and Serum Visions to start digging for more things. So I'd say this is a keep, right? I don't know what, Richard is on right now, but I guess we'll find out momentarily. Horizon Canopy. Ooh, Elves. Okay, so here, I think I'm actually going to lead on Inquisition, because if my opponent has a, say, turn 3 something, I can still Fatal Push it, right? So I think I'm actually going to go ahead and lead on Inquisition here, see what my opponent's working with here, and wow, they have quite a good hand. But they only had one green source here, so that's what makes this a little bit tricky. However, I think we'll go ahead and just take the Azure here and feel just fine. Gives me a little right back at you. I think, well, we could just take the Llanowar Elves, and if our opponent just doesn't draw another land, that could actually be a really, yeah, I think based on my opponent's hand here, I am more comfortable taking that Llanowar Elves. If my opponent does not hit a land here, then they just, alright, so they hit a land. That's kind of unfortunate for us, right? Because they're going to jam probably Azuri here. Huh. Okay. So we have two options. We could hit the Llanowar Elves, cut our opponents off of some mana, and then just Serum Visions. Alternatively, we could just jam like a Goyf, and our opponent can't really attack into it. The issue is, yeah, there's not much of an issue, right? We can just play Goyf, and, right, it's a 2-3, blocks Azuri. Yeah, let's just go ahead and play Goyf here. We're going to kind of punish if our opponent hits another land off the top. Although, I guess... Oh, wow, I guess Heritage Druid just does that, right? Nettlescent. Wow. Okay, our opponent has got the nuts. Wow. So, you can see how, like, these decisions just completely change the state of the game, right? Not, bolting the bird, essentially, on turn 1. Really made a difference there. Let's see what my opponent hit here. Devoted Druid is quite scary. 2 Devoted Druids, though, not as scary, right? So we probably have to hit Azuri here for sure. Hopefully we can find some more removal here. So here, we just definitely have to hit Azuri, right? And I think we want to preserve our life total here, so let's just go ahead and get a Swamp. Cast the push on the Azuri. The question is, can we attack? Not sure we can reasonably attack here. Although we are playing another Goyf. Let's see, they can play Azuri and they can pump creatures one time. Sure, they're going to regenerate a bit, makes a lot of sense. We are left with an option here. Yep. So they're going to regenerate a bunch of their creatures. We could play the other Goyf and swing in, right? Or we could go Serum Visions looking for an answer to their Azuri, which is their last creature in hand right now. But let's think this through right now, right? So next turn, they have access to Adult Sentinel. They have access to a lot of mana, right? I think I'm just going to go ahead and... I actually should have Serum Visioned... wow, that's pretty bad. Alright, we're looking for like a Maelstrom Pulse here. If we attack, our opponent taps Nettle Sentinel, that... Untaps one of them. Yeah, they just generate a ton of mana here. So I think we have to hold back and hope we can find an answer for Izuri. Yeah. Yep. This is rough. Definitely a rough spot here. Interesting. Okay. Oh, that is infinite mana, right? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yep. So basically what they're going to do here is essentially pump up their creatures +3/+3, and then they just have infinite mana here. So let's go ahead and pack it in. Wow, so you can see again how some of these just decisions reverberate throughout the game, right? You don't bolt the bird, and then everything goes out of control, right? So Maelstrom Pulse definitely comes in, Damnation comes in, all of our brutalities come in, Golgari Charm, right? All creatures get -1/-1, definitely very relevant against Elves. There's an argument for Click, but I don't think it's quite necessary here. Veil, Last Hope, I think I'm going to keep. I'm actually going to cut the Tireless Trackers. They're not all that good in this matchup. I'm going to keep, again, removal is key. Could probably cut one Dark Confidant, just one though. And this card can get pretty bad in the late game, but it's actually really useful early on, so I'm going to go ahead and keep that around. Liliana the Veil. Yeah, hard for me to find a cut for that. Hard for me to cut that. Let's go ahead and cut one Scooze here. Maybe we can cut one Inquisition, because again, they unload their hands so fast sometimes that it's not that great. But again, no, I think it's just so worth it. And then we can probably even cut a Jace, sadly enough. This is definitely not the matchup for Jace. And we can maybe even cut like one Liliana of the Veil, because they have a lot of little dorks. Like, her minus is not that relevant. So I think this is going to be a good enough configuration here. Again, not necessarily sure that cutting our card advantage engines is where we want to be for sure, but I think this should be fine. Again, we still have some Bobs, we still have some Snapcasters, we still have one Jace, because he does seal the deal in a lot of games. Yeah, so we're gonna make a little bit more heads-up decisions. I would say this time around. So again, we went for that turn 1 Inquisition over that turn 1 Fatal Push, and that I feel like that really, you know, really changed things up. Anyways, yeah, let's go ahead and play first. Yeah, this hand's great, right? We have turn 1 Inquisition, turn 2 Goyf, and then double Fatal Push. Wow. Collected Company, bunch of dorks. Interestingly enough, we could take the Heritage Druid here. Or should we take the Llanowar Elves? Because then we could honestly like blow up their Elvish Mystics with Maelstrom Pulse. But because I think Heritage Druid is just the most powerful card here. There's an argument for like slowing them down. Elvish Mystic is out. And I'm not going to go ahead and Fatal Push them yet. Again, especially because, alright, so they played both of that, and they played Elvish Mystic, so they still have 2 unknowns in hand, right? Ooh, okay. Maybe like an Elvish Visionary here. Or maybe a Dwynen's Elite. Or maybe just some mana. So if they play mana like... Oh, wow. Heritage Druid? Jeez. Jeez. What? I don't even know what this card is. Spells your opponent's control can't cause you to sacrifice permanents. Ouch. Okay. This is rough, right? Because we definitely want to hit that Heritage Druid, but there's not much we can do against. that Collected Company. So we definitely want to slow down their mana development here. Question is, do we get in there for some damage? And I think we can go ahead and get in for some damage here. Yeah, Collected Company is definitely gas, but okay. So they drew a land, which is really good for us. I imagine they're going to go ahead and Coco here. Hopefully they don't hit anything too nasty. Yeah, oh God, Eternal Witness is nuts. But if we can actually, yeah, so we actually have a decent line here, right? We can choke them on mana a little bit, and then we can Maelstrom Pulse all of their yeah, so this feels a little all in because it's kind of like, okay, well, they draw a mana source. Oh wow, you know that changes everything. Target opponent, and target creature reveal hand. Again, I think I'm gonna go for that Maelstrom Pulse play soon. So I think I'd rather get this guy off the board in case we do draw Liliana. That Collective Brutality was a great draw. Yeah. Alright, now we got ourselves a good old-fashioned race here. I think we can win, though. Assuming, because our opponent does have a lot of air in their deck, but at the same time, look, they still have a Horizon Canopy here. But if they crack Horizon Canopy and then they miss for a turn on something, and then we blow them out with blow out their Elvish Mystics, you know, I think we're in a good spot. So last turn, like, we played around them just drawing like a land or something like that. And I think I'd rather save this Maelstrom Pulse one more turn in case they rip like Elvish Archdruid or something like that. And their attack here will let me know what they're potentially sitting on. If they attack with nothing, then they like almost surely have like a Court of Calling or something, and that's like a beating. Yeah, this really feels like Court of Calling to me. Either way, I think we start here. And hopefully we get that 3-for-1, but yeah, looks like our opponent just ripped Court of Calling. But if we can choke them on a little bit of mana, it might be good enough. Okay, 2-3. Alright, yeah, definitely Court of Calling. God dang, we just can't get a break, huh? Oh my god, they have Selfless Spirit! Ugh. I have to imagine it's Selfless Spirit, right? Yeah. Okay, so they protect their dorks. Creatures gain indestructible. Interesting that maybe... Yeah, now attacking makes no sense at all. But we're both hellbent. They do have a land. Oh, man. Everything, it feels like we just played around the wrong things at the end of the day. I mean, it's impossible to know, but... Alright. There goes the first crack. Hopefully they hit some lands here, some dorks. Stuff that doesn't do anything. Land is a good sign. Phyrexian Revoker. Let's go ahead and crack our fetch here. In response to Revoker, it's like a Pithing Needle effect. We'll get a Watery Grave. Oh, is it non-lands? Oh, it is non-land. Oh, whoops. Yeah, so it's not quite like Pithing Needle. My opponent here named Jace the Mind Sculptor because they know what we're on here. So here we have quite a choice. If we swing in, we could trade for all of their creatures. And I think I'm okay with that trade. Sorry, we can trade for 4 of their creatures. Alright. Oh, no, please stop, no. Oh my god, the rips! Ugh. We get swung here for 6, which means now we can attack with Goyf. Yeah, this is a really bad spot for us. Alright, so we kind of need, like, Damnation off the top here. I think that would be ideal. Yeah, my opponent gets in here for 8. Bob just doesn't do it, right? We play Bob, we go block, block, and we're dead. Wow. Yeah. That's game. That one attack with Goyf there was, well, not necessarily, actually, because... Yeah, it just feels like we had a lot of good things, but our opponent drew the right cards at the right time. Anyways, I think I'm going to go ahead and pack it up here. Unfortunately, we didn't quite get to see the power of Sultai here. But thanks for watching, guys. That was first match against Elves here with Sultai Jace. And stay tuned for, I don't know if I'm playing another match with this deck or another deck, but yeah, stay tuned for that, guys.